Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm glad to have you. My channel is all about houseplants, garden center and nursery tours, and passive hydroponics in leca. If that's something you're interested in, I hope you stick around and enjoy the content. So today I wanted to show you guys my entire Sansevieria collection, or if you want to call them dracaena or snake plants, that's fine too. So let's get to it. I'm going to show you my collection in chronological order from my very first one to my latest. So my first Sansevieria is the Cylindrica. I got this when the whole braided cylindrical Sansevierias were just getting popular back in early 2019. And many places were only selling little ones that had 3 snake plants braided together. And this was only, this was only $6 when I got it. After that, more and more people were selling them, and now you can even find ones that have 6 snake plants braided together. This one actually hasn't grown much, like maybe half an inch or so after it had sprouted these 3 babies right here. And I'm not sure why that is. It's not root bound or anything like that, but I don't mind if it's not doing anything as long as it's still alive, right? Next are some cuttings that my mom had gotten for me from her work. I have 2 Laurentii cuttings, which was just one long leaf that I had cut into 2, and the other one was a Laurentii rhizome. So the one leaf that I had cut into 2 are these 2 right here, and they are both rooted. And then the rhizome one was this one. And it actually has a new leaf that grew. I could actually pot that up separately if I wanted to, but kind of lazy right now. And then the other one is a cutting that she gave me from her own office plant. We weren't sure what kind of snake plant it was. One of her coworkers gave it to her to save. I looked up various Sansevieria varieties, and I think this is a parva. But she had given me a long leaf of that, and I cut that into 2 as well. And those are these 2. And they actually have their own new leaves now. This one has 1 new one, and then this one has 2 right there. And then the other cuttings that are in there, I'll go over them later. So I've had these cuttings since May of 2019, and they actually took forever to root. But now they actually do have good roots and their own little babies. And next is my Starfish Sansevieria. You may have seen him if you watched my Happiest Plants video. I've had him since July of 2019, along with my Sansevieria Samurai, which I'll show you in a sec. But I just wanted to pan up to show you this big guy. And the original plant is this big one in the back, this one right here. And these are its 2 little babies that I have yet to separate and pot up on their own. But that's the back of the mom plant. And then let me go get the Samurai real quick. So this is the Sansevieria Samurai that I have. The Latin name is Sansevieria Ehrenbergii. And it's actually grown some since I got it. It's a really slow grower, but it looks really cute. And then the tips of the leaves are actually quite sharp. So that's that. And 2 days after I got my Starfish and my Samurai, I got my Moonshine Sansevieria, and I named her Luna for Moon. So this is her, and she's actually grown quite a lot of new leaves, and that's her tallest one right there. And if I spin her around, you'll see how full she is. I'm waiting to put her in a bigger pot because she seems to be happy in this one right now. So I'll leave her be. So at the end of July, I got this cute Sansevieria Whitney, and he has grown so many new leaves for me, and I really like this one that just has the border on one side. This is one of the newer leaves that he has. So typically the Whitneys have that lighter green border like this one. on both sides, but for some reason, this one only has it on this right side right here. And I also got these black gold bird's nest Sansevierias on the same day as the Whitney. Well, here, let me see. These are actually babies from this mom plant, and I didn't separate them until October of 2019. But there are two of them in here. August of 2019, I got a few more snake plants. This Francisii, which I found out is native to the Philippines, and then this Fernwood Mikado. So I got these two, well, the other one, the next one that I'm going to show, I also got from Hertz Gardens. And these were some of the last few plants that I actually ordered from them, because after a while I just started getting more disappointed with the plants that they were sending just because they weren't packing them so well. And this Fernwood Mikado here is a good example, because when they sent it to me, it had all these damaged areas right here. And you can see them. And after that, I kind of just stopped buying from them altogether, just because I didn't want to keep getting damaged plants. But I also got these whale fins from them, which was one of the best purchases that I had. Here, let me pan up so you can see the whole thing. So for all three of them together, these three big ones right here, I only paid $20 for them. And I got almost all of the snake plants that I'm showing you right now online. And a lot of them were actually from Hertz Gardens. And aside from the whale fins, which like I said were $20 for all three, the others were all less than $10. They're a bit more expensive now because the demand is just so high for houseplants. And I'm really glad that I got into plants before it all blew up, because I probably wouldn't have as big of a collection as I do now if I had just gotten interested in them recently. And oh yeah, I wanted to show you, so the Fernwood Mikado, I actually accidentally broke off one of the spines when I was repotting it. You can see where it had broken off right there. And I ended up propagating that broken spine. So, oh man, that one keeps falling. So that one in the middle right there is the part that had broken off of the Mikado. And it is actually rooted in there. So on to the next Sansevierias. Up next is my Variegated Whale Fin. This was $28 from an Etsy shop, and back then, also in 2019, I thought that was already expensive. Variegated whale fins go for even more now. Then I have the beautifully striped mantle sensation right here, and you can see all the cream and green stripes that it has. And my last snake plant purchase of 2019 was my golden honey eye. I had featured the mother plant in my happiest plants video back in December or January. And a couple of weeks after that, I noticed that one of the center leaves was turning wilty. When I inspected the plant, the crown was moldy and mushy, and my heart sank immediately. I uprooted it to see if it had root rot, but it actually didn't. In fact, I had been underwatering it because the roots were extremely dry. I don't know how it got crown rot because I don't water my plants from the top since I use leca. And the only thing I could think of was it had gotten some water in it when I accidentally knocked over one of my propagation vessels and spilled water everywhere. It was sitting on the shelf above where the snake plant was, and I must not have noticed that water had pooled in the ground. And being winter and cold, it probably didn't take long for it to rot. I tried to propagate it, but lost that battle. But thankfully, I still have this little baby left. Then in February of 2020, I got this regular bird's nest Sansevieria, and it had a little baby as well, which I didn't separate from the mom until September of that year. What I like about this one is it looks just like a regular bird's nest Sansevieria, but I like that it has these whitish silver lines all along the leaves. And I actually haven't seen other Sansevieria, bird's nest Sansevierias that have that. The baby, on the other hand, doesn't have those, well, this one kind of has a faint silver stripe on the outside, but none of the other leaves have it. And in April of 2020, I purchased this Sayuri online, and it was only $13. It was a lot fuller, but I gave a few stalks to my mom. It almost looks like the Bantel sensation. The only difference is the leaves on the Sayuri are a lot wider than the Bantel sensation. Like, these are new leaves, and so they're still kind of narrow. But normally, like, this older leaf right here is kind of wide, whereas the Bantel sensation, it's actually harder and narrower. Then I didn't buy any more Sansevierias for a while. My very last Sansevieria is this black coral, which I just got this past December. I accidentally broke off a leaf when I was repotting it into leca, and so I'm trying to propagate that leaf, which until now it still hasn't grown any roots. And that's actually that leaf that kept falling out of my little propagation vase right here. So yeah, it doesn't have any roots yet, but it's okay. I'm just gonna leave it there. Probably try to pot it up more securely so it doesn't keep falling out. But I'm just gonna let it be. So counting all the babies and different variety propagations separately, because I would have to pot them up separately someday anyway, I have 21 snake plants in my collection altogether. Sansevieria is the biggest genus in my entire houseplant collection. I just love how many different kinds there are and how easy they are to care for. They don't ask for anything and give you babies to expand your collection even more. So I just wanted to show you where all my Sansevierias live. This is the shelf in my bedroom, and all of my Sansevierias are in here, aside from the propagation vase that I have. So up top is the Sayuri, and then the second shelf has my moonshine. The whale fins are in the back, and I have the Whitney and the starfish back there, and the Bantel sensation and the black coral, and then and down below I have the bird's nest Sansevieria, the golden honey eye, the Cylindrica francisii, and the Fernwood Mikado. And behind all of that, I have the black gold bird's nest. And then plus just a bunch of random plants in my ZZ plant collection. Oh, and also my samurai lives there because there was no other room on the other shelves. So yeah, that's where all of my Sansevierias are. I hope you guys had fun meeting all of my snake plants. And if you're looking for an easy beginner's plant, perhaps you'd want to consider owning a snake plant, or maybe a few. Well, that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you liked this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed yet, but like this kind of content and more about houseplants, please don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, bye!